Name, image, and likeness is also bringing parity to college sports. It's the great equalizer in an industry and in a section right now that is facing less and less parity, especially in college football. Right? I don't know about you. I'm a massive college football fan, and I am desperate for parity because right now, one of the things we don't see is a lot of different teams competing for a title. It's usually the same 4, 5, 6, 7 schools. I know Cincinnati and Michigan surprised a lot of people by making the college football playoff this year. But who are the two teams in the end playing for the title? Georgia and Alabama. It's a lot of the same teams each and every year competing to win the championship. So the way that other teams get in the mix and have their championship hopes elevated is by spreading the talent out. And that is what name, image, and likeness was designed to do. And I think last night, we got the latest confirmation that name, image, and likeness is doing exactly what it's intended to do. So Nick Saban yesterday had a few quotes when speaking to basically 100 local businesses in Birmingham. Him complaining about name, image, and likeness, him kind of voicing his frustration and how name, image, and likeness is quote-unquote hurting Alabama is exactly what you need to hear to know that parity is slowly entering college football. It's going to be a slow burn, if you will. It's going to be a slow rise to spread the talent out. You're not going to wake up tomorrow morning or this time next year and have 30 teams competing for a college football playoff. It's going to be slow. It's going to be gradual. But yesterday, Nick Saban offered the latest hint that NIL is working and it's starting to hurt the massive brands like Alabama. So I want to read you a few quotes that Nick Saban said last night to 100 local businesses when he was doing basically what was a fundraising event in Birmingham. So the one that got a lot of pub, the one that is spreading like wildfire this morning, Nick Saban said this, quote, "We were second," speaking of Alabama, "we were second in recruiting last year. A&M was first. A&M bought every player on their team, made a deal for name, image, and likeness. We didn't buy one player." I love how Nick Saban says it. We didn't buy one player. But I don't know if we're going to be able to sustain that in the future because more and more people are doing it. It's tough, end quote. Nick Saban basically saying the quiet part out loud, showing how flustered he is by calling out Texas A&M directly, shows you a name, image, and likeness is making it tougher and tougher and tougher for Alabama to get the best players like they consistently been doing to Tuscaloosa each and every year. Spreading that talent out now is what is going to even the playing field, especially in college football. Now look, again, it's gradual. Alabama was second in recruiting last year. It's not going to happen overnight. But you want to know how we know Nick Saban is flustered? You want to know the direct way we know that Nick Saban is frustrated by name, image, and likeness, how it's having a so far negative impact on his program in terms of getting every single top talent they've normally gotten? Because he put a name. He finally did the one thing Nick Saban has never, ever, ever done in his coaching career, and that is calling someone out. That is directly calling someone out. Texas A&M's recruiting class has been a topic that's discussed by a lot of people. Nick Saban's not the first to bring it up. Nick Saban won't be the last to bring it up. For me, my opinion, I do think A&M bought every single player. I think it's no mistake and no coincidence that as soon as name, image, and likeness is passed, all of a sudden Texas A&M, who have a lot of alumni and boosters in the oil industry that are very rich, that gave Jimbo Fisher a massive contract, I have no doubt in my mind they were dangling massive NIL deals in front of these kids and say, hey, you come to A&M, basically here's $1 million right here in this deal or that deal. I think A&M bought the players 100%. But Nick Saban becomes the first person, the first coach to basically say the quiet part out loud. Saban has danced around it before. Lane Kiffin has danced around it before. Jimbo Fisher has called out coaches for kind of insinuating without anyone ever going on the record and saying directly A&M paid their players. Jimbo Fisher got frustrated and called coaches out. And now yesterday, Nick Saban kind of crossing the line that no coach wanted to cross up to this point and naming Texas A&M, saying they paid every single player to come to their school, shows you Nick Saban is having frustrations and he knows NIL is the equalizer and is bringing parity to the sport because he is now losing out on recruits. They're going to go to other schools because they can get more money.